Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahawashi, Bahasham, Barakahak Wadash, Barakatum. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, glory, and infinite honors to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahawashi. Double honors to the apostles and elders, a great millstone who rule and teach well. In peace and salutations to you sincere Akim out there, pushing this word in truth and sincerity to the four corners of the globe. May you brothers endure until the end. This is the brother Ra'aya with another video, and I'm going to start it off in 2 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 11. Lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. And of course, you've got the spiritual demon Satan, which is the top left-handed angel of the Most High, if you can receive it. The spiritual demon Satan has no free will of his own and does everything that the Most High commands him to. But then you've got Satan's physical counterpart on the planet Earth. Just like the children of Israel or the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans are the physical counterpart, of the Most High on Earth, the physical counterpart of the spiritual demon Satan are the biblical Edomites, or these so-called white people out here. Your Americans, the British, Europeans, Russians, South Afrikaners, the small hats over in the Holy Land right now, etc., etc. And as it says, lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. And I opened up the video with this verse to preface a few articles and bits of information showing some of the devices of the physical counterpart of the spiritual demon Satan, these Edomites, more specifically the elites of the Edomites, like the Rothschilds, Rockefellers, the DuPonts, the Massimos, the Gettys, the Merovingians, you name it, who are the ones running the show and pushing for this NW0, this fourth industrial revolution, this GREATRESET. And one of the main things that the elites are going to use to get these people desperate out here and be more willing to accept all their dictates for this NW0 is manufactured food shortages, famines, because like that devil Henry Kissinger said, hey, control oil, you control nations, control food, and you control the people. But the first bit of information I'll be going to is on thehill.com, and the title reads, 100,000 chickens die in fire at Connecticut egg farm. And over the last couple of years, you've had many food processing plants all across America and other parts of the world just mysteriously burning down, getting destroyed, or getting hit with planes. And this is not by any coincidence. Again, we're not ignorant of Satan's devices. The elites are doing these things to get the masses of people out here desperate and having their stomachs touching their backs and willing to do anything, just to not starve themselves or watch their loved ones starve. And what you have to remember is that we are living in the last days, really the last seconds of these last days before the end of this current age of the rulership of the heathen nations, chiefly by the Edomites, before the ushering in of the kingdom of heaven under the rulership of the children of Israel, beginning with Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Yahweh being the name of the Father, whom the world ignorantly refers to as God, and Yahawashi being the name of the Messiah, whom the world ignorantly refers to as so-called Jesus. And the elites understand that their time's almost up. They see that the nation of Israel is waking back up and calling back on their power, Yahweh Bahasham Yahawashi, and they see the prophets of the Most High, the men of the Lord, right now, chiefly through GMS or Great Millstone, as well as the brothers coming in the spirit of GMS, out on the highways and byways preaching this word, as well as putting up video epistles like this online. And they know that when these things are taking place, whatever heathen kingdom that's ruling at the time is going to come to an end. And they also understand that they are the biblical Edomites, and what their fate is after they're taken out of power. 1,000 years of hardcore bondage and slavery before them and the rest of their nation is permanently culled from this planet. So these elites are about to come down in great wrath to try to stop biblical prophecy from coming to its fulfillment and to establish their NW0. This is Revelation chapter 12, verse 12. Therefore rejoice ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe or destruction to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil, that deceiver, Esau Edom, the so-called white man, more specifically their elites, the physical counterpart of the spiritual demon Satan, is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. These elites are getting ready to pull out all the stops to try to accomplish their plans, and that involves killing off mass numbers of people on this planet. And one of the main ways they're going to do it, as well as to, again, get people in line to accept anything that they want them to accept for their GREAT, RESET, that NW0, are manufactured food shortages, artificial famines. But let's get back to this article. About 100,000 chickens died in a fire over the weekend at a Connecticut farm that is one of the top 5 egg producers in the country. Officials from the State Department of Agriculture confirmed Monday that an estimated 100,000 hens were killed in a fire, and get this, at the Hillendale Farms property in Basra, Connecticut. And Basra was one of the ancient chief cities of the biblical Edomites. Just as it says in Romans chapter 8, the Spirit beareth witness with our spirit that we're the children of the Most High. The Spirit beareth witness that you so-called white people are the biblical Edomites. And this Basra, this modern day spiritual Basra, the United States of America, is going to be completely burned down by 200 million nuclear tipped ICBMs. A little omen that a fire burned down Basra. On Saturday, the Associated Press reported. The report said that dozens of firefighters responded to the fire, which was contained to just one of the farm's buildings. According to local CBS affiliate WFSB, firefighters from 21 different departments responded to the fire and were on the scene for 8 hours. The report also said that the state's agriculture agency does not expect the fire to impact egg prices, which have been rising over the past year. And best believe it's going to. In some places, you've got eggs at $7 to $9. And I believe for a big pack of eggs somewhere, it was damn near like $70. And these prices for not just eggs, but other food staples out here are going to continue to increase, because not only are the elites destroying the food supply chain, to take food out of circulation to get people desperate out here, which supply and demand, the less there is of something, the higher the price it's going to go. But the U.S. is on the verge of total economic collapse, where this dollar is going to be about as valuable as a toilet paper. No, toilet paper is going to be valuable on that day, but this dollar is not going to have any value to it. We're already in a state of inflation where prices on everything's going up, and it's just going to hit hyperinflation. And what just happened? Saudi Arabia, which the U.S. had the petrodollar system in place for, to where the Saudis would only sell their oil in U.S. dollars, has said they're opening up to using other currencies to sell oil in, which is going to further put that death nail into the coffin of the United States of America and the U.S. dollar. No employees were injured in the fire, but the cause of the blaze remains under investigation, according to a statement posted on the Hillendale Farms website. The website confirmed that one chicken house was lost in the fire. Let's see. I'll just read this little bit here. Our team continues to work closely with the local fire departments and state officials to thoroughly investigate the fire that occurred on Saturday, January 28th. We can confirm that one chicken house was lost and that no other buildings were compromised. We are deeply grateful that no employees were hurt in the fire, the farm's executive leadership said in a statement. Although it remains under investigation, we are working with local and state authorities to determine the cause. Remember, we are not ignorant of Satan's devices. This is all being orchestrated. We appreciate the tremendous response from local fire departments for their swift action and for the continued support from across our industry, the statement continues. Hillendale Farms, which has properties across the United States, raises more than 20 million chickens for eggs and is one of the top 5 egg producers in the country, according to its website. To this article, now I'm going to go to my next bit of information on Dabu77's YouTube channel, titled, "Who is Burning Down All the Chicken, Egg Farms, and Processing Plants Across America? I wonder who." Remember, this devil is coming down in great wrath, and we are not ignorant of his devices. And this is a fair use copyright disclaimer. I do not own any of the footage in this clip, nor do I stand to gain from it monetarily. It is simply for educational purposes, and this clip was posted 2 days ago.
This is Dabu7, raising the question, who is attacking and burning down all of these egg processing plants or places that are producing eggs across the country? This being tied in, I believe, to all the food processing plants that have burnt down since 2020. We had kept track to over 100, and then I quit counting because it's obvious at that point we're under attack. Just like when you look at the grid and you see over 125 attacks in 1 year on substations, someone is attacking it. Anyone out there that wants any more evidence or one more attack or an exact count or just searching for excuses, they're not ready to face the fire, that we are under attack. And this is all about control. Wiping out all your food processing places, sending it higher. And it's record breaking. Yet the sheep just keep on pushing. This is going to catch up to us big time. And it seems to me that this is being done tactically, by the hand out there. And let's not forget that we have some of these feds showing up at farms, knocking on the door and saying, hey, we just tested some of your chickens out here. They're positive for the bird flu. You've got to kill all 1 million of them, or however many it is. And they have to do so like immediately. The clock starts ticking. This destroys the business. This destroys everything that the people have built, and also it sends the price of chickens and eggs through the roof. This is tactical, and someone is up to doing this for sure. Now, when we go back and we look at just the egg facilities being burnt down, we had one in December that caused $12 million in damages. It killed 250,000 chickens. That was in Pennsylvania. Right before that, in October, we had a bunch of chickens get incinerated in a massive fire in Lexington, South Carolina. And then February of 2020, a blaze at Michael Foods killed 400,000 chickens. In December of 2020, around 240,000 chickens died when a fire burned through 3 barns in Pasco County, Florida. I mean, just, they keep stacking up. We have Animal Welfare Institute reporting that nearly 1.3 million cage-free hens perished in potentially preventable barn fires in 2020. And that's on top of all the rest of the stuff. We don't even have the newer numbers in yet. So in California, the average retail price of eggs went from $2.35 a year ago to $7.37 this year. And you're talking about the bleached white eggs, not even your organic. They're going upwards of 10. Guys, I told you, you might want to start growing, get some chickens, all that. I said that years ago. I hope people...
And for the majority of you people out there, it's already too late. Hey, this is... while the elites are orchestrating this, the Most High is in control of everything. And this is coming down from the Most High onto you people for all the wickedness you've been committing. Famine is going to be a judgment to take out a lot of people in the United States of America and in other parts across the planet as well. And remember the account of Joseph in the book of Genesis. He had the dream where he saw 7 years of plenty and then 7 years of famine. So for that 7 years, Joseph, who was second to Pharaoh during that time, spent that 7 years gathering up all that food to prepare for the 7 years of famine. And when that famine hit, people sold everything. And as things got worse, they eventually sold themselves as slaves to Pharaoh to get food. And the elites are on the same frequency. And it's no coincidence that the United States of America is the modern day spiritual Egypt as pursuant to Revelation 11, verse 8. Like I've been saying throughout the video, famines are going to be one of the main ways the elites are going to get the masses of people to get on board with their agenda and follow after their dictates. Remember, control the oil, you control the nations, control the food, you control the people. The major thing that these elites want you people to do is to receive that charagma in you. The charagma being the MARKOFTHEBEAST in Revelation chapter 13, verses 16 to 18, which is the RFID/NFC MICROCHIPIMPLANT. Hey, you want to eat? Hey, you got to get poked. But now I'm going to go to my last bit of information on Riverside Homestead Life's YouTube channel titled Shocking Is This Where They Are Hiding the Food Shortages, SHTF. Remember Joseph during Egypt. They stored up that food, and then when the people got desperate enough during the famine, they sold themselves to be slaves to Pharaoh. And we're living in modern day spiritual Egypt, where, as we'll see in this video, they're storing up food again. So when people are desperate, what are they going to do again? There's nothing new under the sun, as it says in Ecclesiastes chapter 1, I believe verse 9. But this is a fair use copyright disclaimer. I do not own any of the footage in this clip, nor do I stand to gain from it monetarily. It is simply for educational purposes.
What if I told you that there was a place that had upwards of 600 trucks, trailer trucks, going in and out of an underground storage facility daily? 3.5 million square feet of storage for mostly food. At least 75% food storage underground, 3.5 miles of road. Do you guys know how much food is being brought down there? All at the same time, Biden told us to expect food shortages.
And we both talked about how we could increase and disseminate more rapidly food shortages. In addition to that,
is it just a coincidence or is it fishy? Well, I found a truck driver that actually went down there for the first time and also found it fishy. Information that you should know coming right up. If you guys happen to be brand new here at our awesome community, welcome. If you like prepping tips, emergency preparedness how-tos, and news that could affect you, be sure to hit that notification bell so you guys can stay up to date. Let's jump into this one. So like I said, I came across this video of a truck driver delivering craft food into an underground cave storage facility that is huge. 3.5 million square feet of storage space underground, and it's deep. And the interesting thing is that this truck driver came across as a little bit suspicious. He was a little bit shocked, didn't know that this place existed, but it in fact does, and I researched it. But let's see what this truck driver had to say about this.
Lock it, damn ad.
Just a quick update. It's Saturday, I believe, and here's the truck I've been driving for the last few days. For Wilson Logistics. This trailer just was assigned to us from Kraft over at the Kraft Foods plant, and we're delivering it here to what's called the Springfield Underground. And that is, as you can see behind me, this giant cave that's big enough to house hundreds of these trucks and trailers. There's a train track running through here. Just to give you an idea, back here, there's a regular sized truck. See how tall that is up there? It's just incredible. Anyway, having a great time, learning lots.
I'm sure there's some of you out there that knew about this place, but for the majority of us, I don't think we knew about this place. So I watched a video of a high-ranking guy taking this news agency around in this underground facility. And what he said is this place is so big, they have upwards of 500 employees. And he said that they have 500 to 600 trailer trucks come through there daily. I mean, look, is this not crazy? I mean, I've never seen anything like it, and it's gargantuous. He also said in this facility that it's primarily food. Like you saw in that video with that truck driver, Kraft Food is contracting out this other truck business to take food down there. And this is not ran all by one company. All of this space down there is leased. It's leased to whoever buys it, probably to the highest bidder in some cases. Now it gets really interesting here in a minute, but he also says that they're expanding another 1 million square feet. They've already got 3.5 miles of road system down there. Some of you might be asking, well, where in the heck is this? It's called Springfield Underground, and I believe it's located in Missouri. And the guy also said that they have another location on the west side that they're developing that I don't think too many people know about, even the people that know about this one. So not only do they got 500 to 600 trailer trucks coming through here a day, they've also got BNSF coming through with trains. They've got railroad tracks coming through the underground. I mean, look, they've got huge railroad track systems that come through here and deliver huge boxcars of probably food. The main guy also mentioned that they have a huge area down there that has a huge stockpile of PPE, personal protective equipment, in case of a catastrophe and emergency. Now, I know a lot of you people are shocked about this. Like, I had no idea that this place existed. And the crazy thing is it's so deep down into the ground. Look how deep it is. I mean, that is considered underground. So with that, there's a lot of people out there that are suspicious about everything that goes on down there because it's a restricted area, gates and everything. One person mentioned that there's a lot of cover-up companies that are ran by the GOV that lease a ton of space and are stockpiling tons of food down there. Stockpiling food during food shortages or expected food shortages, maybe even causing or justifying some of the food shortages. Now, I don't know if these...
Lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices.
Suspicions are accurate, but having 3.5 miles of storage down there does seem a little suspicious. And given the feeling that that truck driver had going down there, with a big company like Kraft contracting out private trucks to bring tons of food down there, now it might be completely normal, but like I said, there's tons of suspicion on who exactly is leasing a lot of this space. And the president did say that they had a long conversation about increasing and disseminating more rapidly food shortages. Very ironic that that would be caused, right? And that's the buzz right now. Tucker did a thing last night. Check out what he had to say.
Last spring in March at a press conference in Brussels, Joe Biden explained that the sanctions he was imposing against Russia, while morally necessary, were also going to cause food shortages around the world, including here in the United States. It's going to be real, he said. Now, Biden said this in a very odd way. There was no hint or panic, emotions you'd expect from a leader predicting the deaths of human beings from starvation. None of that. Instead, there was pure nonchalant casualness. Biden could have been describing the weather or a trip to the dry cleaners. It's going to be real. When he met with the group, Biden said, they spoke about, quote, how we could increase and disseminate more rapidly food shortages. That's what Joe Biden said, verbatim. It's on tape. So here you have the President of the United States pledging to increase food shortages at a press conference. Now, that seemed like a newsworthy event, but not a single news organization in this country seemed to notice it happened, nor did the White House correct it. But others were watching, so within days, that clip wound up on social media, and Facebook flagged it immediately as, quote, false news. Now, strictly speaking, that's untrue. There's nothing false about the video. It was entirely real. No one can test that. But apparently, Facebook users were supposed to understand that Joe Biden is senile, and therefore he's not accountable for his own words. Taking Joe Biden literally qualifies as, quote, misinformation. Now, we'll leave that whole episode for you to assess. We can't know what Joe Biden was thinking, if anything, when he uttered those words in Brussels. We can only tell you what happened afterward. Strange disasters began to beset food processors all over the United States. In April, the next month, the headquarters of one of this country's largest organic food distributors was destroyed in a fire, cause unknown. The next month, in a single week actually, 2 separate private plane crashes took out 2 separate food processing centers. One plane hit a General Mills plant in Georgia, the other plane hit a food plant in Idaho. By the way, back in February, a boiler explosion obliterated a potato processing plant in Oregon, and so on. So even people who aren't given to connecting the dots, who don't think of themselves as conspiracy nuts, begin to wonder, is there something here?
So maybe you guys have some more information on this place. Maybe you know something I don't know. Let us know down in the comments below. Share this out to people so people can check this out. I didn't know about it. Really interesting that there's that big of a...
Again, lest Satan should get advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. These incidences are being orchestrated to get you people hungry, starving, and desperate out here to accept whatever the powers that be throw your way. And ultimately, like I said earlier, this is through the will of the Most High, Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, to bring about great famines, food shortages, death by starvation as judgment for all the wickedness you people have been committing, especially in the whore Babylon the Great, spiritual Egypt, the United States of America. But this is 2 Esdras chapter 6 in the Apocrypha, verses 22 to 24. And suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown. And what are sown places? Farmlands where farmers sow their crops. And we've been seeing over the last couple of years that adverse weather events in the United States of America has destroyed a lot of farmers' croplands, not allowing them to plant a sufficient amount of crops. And hey, that's further going to exacerbate these coming famines and food shortages. Mega droughts in the western half of the U.S. and mega flooding in the eastern half, a pressure coming from all sides. The full storehouses shall suddenly be found empty. Walmarts, Rouse's, Kroger's, Winn-Dixie's, etc., etc. Adverse weather events destroying crops, meaning less crops get to these storehouses or grocery stores. Food processing plants mysteriously being destroyed, destroying further hampering the food supply chain, leading to emptier storehouses, etc., etc. And the trumpet shall give a sound, which when every man heareth, they shall suddenly be afraid. At that time, when what? Store shelves are empty, food shortages, famines, shall friends fight one against another like enemies. And again, control the food, you control the people. Starvation is one of the biggest motivators out here for people to follow after whatever you want them to do, or for people to turn into an animalistic dog-eat-dog state. When somebody's stomach is touching their back and they're watching their loved ones, their children starve, they're going to get it how they live. And the earth shall stand in fear with those that dwell therein. The springs of the fountains shall stand still, and in 3 hours they shall not run. There's also going to come a time to where the water's going to get cut off, so people won't be able to get to water or any other amenities like that. And hey, what did it say in that Dabu 77 clip? You've had substations, power stations across the country mysteriously get attacked or just shut off, leading to blackouts, energy shortages. All these things are coming, a perfect trifecta of judgment from the Most High. Now I'm going to close it out in 2 Esdras 15, verse 19. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword. And what's the modern day sword in the United States of America? The gun, which, beginning with those George Floyd riots back in 2020 and just an uptick in crime all across the country, you've seen an increase in first-time gun owners in the U.S. and certain how would you word it? Certain calibers of ammunition out there have been selling out and are hard to find, hey, those guns are going to get used. They're not just going to collect dust in the boxes that they're in. And besides guns, people are going to be using bats, knives, sticks, literal swords, machetes, brass knuckles, chains, Molotov cocktails, anything they can get their hands on, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread, food shortages, famines, and for great tribulation, all the other calamities that Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai is bringing to this planet to judge you people for all the wickedness you've been committing. So that's it with this video. And with this video, I hope you sincere Akim and Akwath were edified. Just keep strong. We're almost out of this final wicked captivity of the heathen nations, chiefly of the biblical Edomites. And as always, I'm going to say Abad Babal, Kwam Yasharala, and until next time, Shalom.